Hello and welcome to the FHA Insider Podcast, where we sit down with food and beverage and hospitality's movers and shakers to discuss trends, current affairs, and industry buzz.
Today we are in conversation with Zhiwei Wang, who is co-founder or the founder of Penguin Guide in Shanghai.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Zhiwei. I'm now in Shanghai. So our company, we started this company 5 years ago. We started our company as a media content generator. So we did a lot of we do a lot of original content about food and drinks on different social media platforms. As we all know, so we have totally different social media platforms here, and then maybe the audience you have. So a very quick introduction. So it's the biggest is called WeChat. So it's also a short message system. So people text to other people, just like Line or like other services you have. And more than that, so we have like social media platforms there too. So you can create the content and publish the content to other people, so people can subscribe your content. So it's 100% on mobile. And also there are other social media platforms such as like Weibo, and for these years are short video platforms like the TikTok. TikTok is from China, so like the internal version of TikTok.
You use TikTok as well to sell your products?
It's like booming, like selling products through TikTok. So
okay.
So first part of the company, so we do a lot of content. So the second part, like different from most of the content company making revenue, so they sell ads. So different from them, we are not selling ads. Instead of that, we are selling products. We have an e-commerce platform, like play a role as a buyer for different products online. So basically, so we're doing two things: so content and e-commerce. So this is great. Our company. Yeah.
And what are you most focused on in terms of selling? You do wine, snacks, so F&B, a lot of FMCGs. Yeah. So what is like, how would you describe the portfolio that you guys usually have, and how much do you sell?
Yeah, before I explain the products that I sell, so I want to have a very quick introduction of e-commerce market in China, so you guys can have a more clear message about what we are doing today. So basically in China, so there are one big giant guy in the market, which is called Alibaba. So they play two roles in the market. The first role is they're playing a role as an infrastructure of the total market. So such as they have a huge department store. So everyone, they have a mini store in their department store. So they have a website called Taobao. So this is the biggest e-commerce platform in China. So besides they're playing a role as an infrastructure builder, they also sell the products by themselves. So like they have their own selling system, including they have like a big store called like Tianmao Chaoshi, like Tianmao Supermarket, and also they have like the retail store called Hema Shengxian, and like Nipple Fresh, and also they have like currently they have like two huge competitors in China right now. One is called JD.com. So JD.com, they sell the products by themselves. So this is. They also provide like they also provide like platform service, but comparably much smaller. And they sell. So JD, they have a very strong logistics system. So they build all the warehouse by themselves. So they're famous for delivery on time and the quality of the products. And in last 2 years, there's a new company like rising so quickly. Like in 3 years, they got listed in Nasdaq called Pinduoduo, like PDD. So it's only on WeChat. So they're only on WeChat and only on the app. So they don't have a PC version of that. So basically this is what's happening right now. So like 3 giant players in the e-commerce market right now.
Okay.
So
and how do you fit in with Penguin?
So we call, so sometimes I think it's pretty funny. We call ourselves as a platform, you know. So it's like. So it's more or less, I think we're not a platform, more or less it's a buyer's shop. So we have a shop based on WeChat, and also, but it's not on Pinduoduo, it's based on WeChat. And also we have a shop on Taobao. So the product which because we do a lot of like food and drink content, so mostly the products we're selling right now are food and drinks. So I divided like food and drinks product into different categories. So the first categories I call them like the branded stuff, including like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, these branded stuff. So in my opinion, these are the products that the giant people now they're selling because they have like huge traffic. So they have a very good price on the products. So we can never compete with them, to get a better price and a better service. So these are not the products that we are now selecting. Mm-hmm. So the second part of it's still branded stuff, but they're not that famous, especially for a lot of like long tail products. For example, wine is a very long tail category. So we have so many different wineries and winemakers and different vintages. So we have so many different products online. So they need a buyer.
Yeah. So how many products do you sell within wine, for instance? You as Penguin Guide.
Currently we sell around 1,000 products a year.
Okay.
So I think wine attributes like 30%, 40% of different categories. So we do a selection.
The world or particular areas?
Around the world. So we don't have a preference. We don't have a preference on new world, old world. It's actually wine business is also very rapidly changing in last 3-5 years. So so one of our major products is like wine, snacks, this kind of products. So it's a very long tail category. So people need a buyer, to choose the product for them. And the third one is we do a lot of OEM and ODM products, especially we sourcing very good factories from local from China. So we work very close with them to set a standard, to set a quality requirement, and to decrease the price. So these are 3 different categories in my mind that in China. So we skip the first one because like the big guys. Yes, yeah. So it's like really operated by the big companies and the big platforms. So, but still, we can cut a very small piece of the cake,
Sure.
in terms of the long tail categories and the OEM and ODM products. So
who are your customers classically? Because I understand Penguin Guide does reviews. You have very trendy, let's say, promotion trends that you're setting in WeChat and the platform. So I presume it's a lot of young people that you address the products for, right?
Yeah, we did a lot of content about food and drinks, including like restaurant reviews, including travel guides about different government cities, including easy and trendy home cooking recipes. So we're covering the topics like that. And because our company is based in Shanghai, so our editor teams are based in Shanghai too. Now we have 2 guys in Guangdong and Shenzhen, and we may have a new guy in Beijing very soon, but we started from Shanghai, so we covered a lot of topics about Shanghai in the very early stage. So so when we look at the geographic, like Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou, like the big cities accounts for like 50%. And also we call them like tier 1 city in China. So we have like 4 big tier 1 city in China. And also we have like around 10 to 15 tier 2 cities here too. So like tier 1 and tier 2 cities accounts for maybe 80% of total our subscriber right now. So currently we have around, currently we have around 1 million subscribers on the WeChat. So like every day we have around 100,000 people that are reading our article every day. So it's like a pretty good exposure to this market. And also from the age side. So yeah, you're true. So they are around from 25 to 30 years old. So they are not that young because we don't do like very like cheap stuff, So we write a lot about like craft beer, about the Essence coffee, about different wineries. So they're maybe not the topics that now the current like maybe undergraduates or the students in the universities they care. So most of them they graduated from university for around 2 or 3 years. So they started to pay attention to these kind of topics. So so this is our major last time when I checked, it's around 25 to 30 years old. They account for like 30% of our total subscribers right now. Yeah.
Okay. So what I understand, you build basically brand recognition for brands that haven't been imported to China yet as well. So that's one part of your success story, right? So you're building basically the brands up that you sell through the marketplace afterwards. So my question now, and this is I think what's really important within the context of COVID now, is you built this up now for 5-6 years, Penguin Guide, and everything worked out really well until maybe November last year, when all of a sudden everybody had to stay at home in China, and the e-commerce probably went through the roof for a certain extent. And what did you experience as an e-commerce platform? What happened there? What is the impact of COVID to your business, and what do you see in general in the market?
Yeah, true. You know, like e-commerce has been very, very few industries. They have positive influence by COVID-19. So the like before the China, you know, it's a very critical and time, you know, for China. It's a tricky time in China when the virus broke out. It is like Spring New Year in China, which is the biggest festival holiday in China, and it means a lot of transportation, like population transportation.
The biggest migration in the world of humans.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, for example, like from Wuhan, which was the worst place. Like 5 million people traveled out before the Chinese New Year. Mm-hmm. So it was like pretty crazy, you know, back to like February. So when the late January, early February, you know, or like no one can hide the news anymore. So and then it becomes a huge total change, you know, for us. Because for example, like for us, like we have a content plan after Chinese New Year. So like during the Chinese New Year, we had an emergency conference call, you know, to change all the topics that we might want to write the plan, you know, before Chinese New Year. You know, we wrote original plan. We wrote a lot about like the travel plans, you know, like you know things like that. So we have to cancel all these topics and to rethink about, you know, what kind of topics we can write. So and the second thing is like for e-commerce side. So we quickly understand it might be a chance, you know, for people that they cannot go out, they don't want to go out, they don't want to risk going out, you know, to find food, so they're gonna buy different foods, you know. So we were discussing what kind of products they may need in this urgent time. So from content side, we can see clearly that, you know, like people cannot go out, so they pay huge attention to all the contents, all types of contents on the internet. Yes. So what I heard is like people spend like double time on the mobile phone compared to January. So, and also for the e-commerce side, we quickly changed our categories. So we started to provide a lot of like ready to cook and ready to eat products instead of, you know, wine, snacks, this kind of products, and they goes pretty well like in this period of time. So in generally, like for the e-commerce side, and especially for the fresh foods e-commerce, so we experienced a huge increase, like 50% to 300%, this kind of increase. And also but in the long term, I'm pretty worried actually. So we can deep dive into that later. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I understand. So you purchase most products. It's a mix between you purchase products from overseas. So you import a lot yourselves. So you're looking for always, you know, you source your products yourself as well. So you don't have lots of intermediates. So you're looking for products all around the world. But I think the supply chain must be a very big challenge at the moment, and also has. So what has that impact been, and how do you work around that?
I think there are several impacts right now. So first of all, we have to cancel all the travel plans, including to Singapore. So we had a sourcing plan in March. So we plan to go to Düsseldorf. We plan to go to United States to see the Expo West, to see the natural products. We plan to go to Japan to see the Food X Japan, to see.
And FHA, of course. Well,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, FHA for sure. Yeah. So we have to cancel all the travel plans and lose the contact. And the first meeting opportunity is to meeting very quality product producers. So for the second thing is that we talk to our manufacturer and the producer, for example, in Italy, in Australia, they still can operate, but the big challenge is we cannot find a shipment and transportation right now. So the price like almost tripled in the last month, to get a proper seat or to get a proper container. And also it influenced our selection strategy in our products. Like I just mentioned, so we started to look into more ready to cook and ready to eat products, not that snacks. And also we lower down the price expectation for the future. So for example, we decreased. For example, like we used to look into pretty high price wines, including the XL price from 15 to more than above 15 or even 20 euros. But right now we pay more attention to the wine from 5 euros, even 3.5 euros. Like the more ODM and OEM options right now, because we are expecting a low. We believe people still need to drink wine, but maybe they are not going to pay as much as they used to pay. And also we started to we start to talk very closely to the importers in China. So we used to
what do you see within the importers exactly? What is happening there? What is the market telling them? I mean, the consumption.
Yeah, they had huge crisis right now. For example, especially for the wine importers, because their business like 70% relying on the restaurant business. So right now, so a lot of restaurants are closing down, like the COVID-19 accelerating. A lot of restaurants, they're not in good business, but they kind of still hanging there, But the COVID-19 just accelerating all the broke up, for these restaurants. And the best restaurants are not that influenced as what I heard recently. Like some restaurants, they already covered maybe 70 or even 80% of the business back in the last months. But for I believe more than 50% of the restaurants, they had almost like 50% increase income cut, or even more. So a lot of restaurants, they cannot like keep running and operating. So which infected a lot of like importers business. So I think it's a pretty good chance, for us right now, to talk with them, because somehow they need to somehow we need the products to sell, no matter it's like imported by ourselves or imported by other people. And at the same time, you can see like the importers, they have to. I know some of the companies, they are giving the no pay holidays to their employees right now. So just because all the sales guys, they don't have any place to sell, they don't have any place to visit. So they laid off a lot of sales guy, and also just to keep the very basic operation team, like including the warehouses, including the marketing, even very few marketing people, they cannot host any, wine tasting event.
There's a lot of problems, yes. But what is are there some companies that do better than others, and what makes them do better than others? What is their strength? Do they have a better online presence? How do they work around, supplying to their customers? What do you see there? Are there some great examples that work better than others?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think smaller companies are doing well, for sure, because they don't have too many employees to feed, to pay the salaries, so they can have more budgets on the new business, not like paying the money to lay off people. And second of all, you can see some importers, they have already started their online business maybe 2 or 3 years ago. They are not relying on the current business, though So they put the egg into different baskets. So in not only like the entree business, but also the direct to consumer business. So some of the companies, they had this, they already have this department in their company, like in their sales system, which helps them doing really good. For example, like comparably, for example, like the Ruby Red, they're doing pretty good. Than the other medium-sized importers, because they have a pretty strong online team like built up last year. So so they launched their Ruby Red Club, to have more direct to consumer connection with their consumers. And ASC are doing pretty good because they have their online business section. But they have problems with the entree business side. But I believe the internet side can come back a little bit, for their whole business. So for some of the importers, like in last 2 years, there are a lot of emerging a lot of importers. They particularly serve the online business. So currently they are doing really, really good, and they have a big problem by the short of the inventory, but which is a good sign because they have cash in hand right now. So
okay. So what do you see in terms of how do they promote? I understand there's a lot of live streaming nowadays on TikTok, you said that, WeChat, etc. So that's how they connect to consumers, and that's how they do brand recognition as well. How do you do this with Penguin? You do the same, or do you have a different strategy?
Yeah, we actually doing the same. Actually, I strongly recommend other brands want to get into China, try 3 different steps right now in digital marketing in China. The first of all, you don't need to hire a marketing person, to do the marketing in China. I think the first critical thing is that you need to find your first 100 loyal customers. So this is my first suggestion. So a lot of people, they said, okay, I want to have a marketing team. I want to do the investment in the marketing, things like that. So a lot of people, but a very critical thing is that you don't even know like your products are fit this market. So I think the first thing is that before you investing in the real money, you need to find out your first 100 loyal customer. How do I define the loyal customer? They have 2 very clear signs if they are your loyal customer. First of all, they refer your products to other people. So they at least like to refer products to other people once or twice in the last 1 or 3 months after they first try your product. The second is they repeat purchasing your product. So for first thing, I recommend the brands. So find your first 100 loyal customer. The second part is to start from the influencer. So you don't have to find, there's a lot of like top like online streaming guy there, but you have to pay a huge amount of money there. But the first one, I think you need to do, like, if you have 100 loyal customer, then you can move to the next stage. Okay, I want more people to hear about me. So like we had a concept of like the key opinion leader before, and now we have a new concept that we call a key opinion customer. So it's like comparably like smaller influencer. Yes. Yeah, and also like you can find a different size of fans based influencer in China. So to do the seeding first, to get the publisher first. There's a lot of different platforms in China right now. The one of the most important is called the Red Book. So it's a female community, like have 1 million active user daily effort, maybe even more than 1, maybe it's 10 million active daily user right now. So it's a community like people sharing the life, their different life there. So you can find a lot of people, they accept the gifts, and also they can help you to do they post a picture of the product online. So, and also the Weibo. So these are the products that you can do with a picture and the content. And one rising platform, you don't have to go to TikTok right now. You can start from the Bilibili.com. So Bilibili.com is also a listed company in Nasdaq. So they do short videos. It's kind of like the local version of YouTube here. So you can see their products there to give a lot of people, they do like review, they do a lot of like testing, things like that. So you can give your products to them. It's the highest ratio of ROI right now. And and when you're sure that you have a good positive return of the investment of the marketing with the influencers, then you can move the third stage. Now you can go to TikTok. So now you can go to TikTok. So there are two different ways to invest in TikTok, and also the other big, including like they have live streaming department in Taobao, in Taobao right now. So you can find a lot of people. It's like you can the money you need to invest to get a spot is ranging from 50,000 RMB to 500,000 RMB to get a spot in 3 to 5 minutes. But sometimes it can go to crazily like 5 minutes. You can sell like 10 million, 100 million, like 10 million RMB revenue like in 5 minutes. It's like
that is pretty
extreme.
Mad.
It's extremely crazy, but sometimes for this stage, you are not only considering the marketing part. Actually, you have to have a very, very strong supply chain to support you. You have the ability and the capability to have such many inventories like in China, especially for the companies you want to get into China. So you need to import a huge amount of inventories in China that you have to evaluate if you can have the right channels to sell them. And also you need a very, very strong team that not only doing exposure, you have to have a very strong team to remain the consumers that you sell through these channels. So then you need a very, very strong guy that can help you to sell your products into these different channels. So for the third stage, you need to have like very strong supply chain and the operation team to supporting your marketing team in this stage. Yeah.
Okay. So to resume, so you need 100 loyal customers, which become loyal key opinion customers. Then you build to that and influence around.
Publicity,
Exactly. And they will help you to go further. And then lastly, you end up at TikTok, and actually these are the payable ones. Okay.
Yeah.
So now coming back to COVID in general, like since China is slowly starting to awaken, right? And there is a new norm now. So new normality. What does that mean? And how does it manifest itself in terms of how you guys do work, how do consumers, you already alluded to this earlier, so they might not purchase the high value products anymore, so their income is definitely reduced. So what do you see in terms of trends of that? What is happening in the market for F&B, for your online scope that you cover?
I see like very, very huge changes, in last 2 months. You can see how young people react to this crisis. So first of all is in terms of the categories. So for food and drink products, because people are cutting their budgets and chances to eating outside, and so they more or less they're eating inside more. So a lot of people learn how to cook in last 2 months. Mm-hmm. So there's one scenery I strongly recommend all the brands that you guys can think about is that how to help like young people to cook in 15 minutes.
Okay.
So this is a very key scenario right now, because we believe that the young generation, they will not like go to the web market or like supermarket right now. So they will not buy the like original like the fresh vegetables. So a lot of them they need a lot of like ready to cook products and ready to eat products right now. And also so a lot of people are selling very good instant noodles, and also like maybe not instant noodles but just noodles with very good topping, like put them into a package. So this is becoming a very trendy products right now. So all these kind of categories, Yeah, it's not like instant noodle. Like they have like real meat and they have very good quality. Yeah, so, yeah. So this is kind of in terms of the category, and also I can see like the a lot of from consumer side, their willingness or their purchasing behavior has been totally changed. So they're cutting a lot of unnecessary payments and unnecessary. Maybe there's a reason that a lot of people are taking the pay cuts, or a lot of people they have more. Uh, they concern about the risks right now. They know someday I might lose a job. Someday my savings might not be enough. Someday I cannot. Maybe I will just relying on my credit card. So a lot of people start to save the money right now. I can give you a data that in the first quarter, like in the first 4 months in China, every day we like according to the central bank, we already like for the first month we already have almost like the 60% of the total saving increase last year. So which means that a lot of people are saving money right now, like much more money, like double the money they save for the last 2 or 3 months. Yeah. So people are cutting a lot of unnecessary payments right now. So there are a lot of like, for example, like there are a lot of like very good for Instagram restaurants and cafes, in the last year. A lot of them closed down, not only because of like the people are cutting the chances to get outside, but it's like people are saving the money and saving the budgets from them. So a lot of products, they are not must-to-have products. So many products, they are nice-to-have products. So for this kind of
luxury goods, and they're going more to the necessary
must-have, necessary one, and we can see a lot of like, for example, like it's very similar to Japan that people today, some of them, they're not buying for showing to other people. They're buying for themselves. When people are buying for themselves, they will not care about, they will very care about the prices themselves. So a lot of like for example, like Uniqlo are getting very popular in Japan because of there's a huge economic crisis in Japan in 1990. So it's very similar right now. So a lot of like no brand products, very OEM and ODM products in China are getting really, really popular right now. So
it's more like about value than anything else, right?
Yeah.
So you said earlier you're very concerned about the Chinese market. Why is that? What is it exactly that you're concerned about in terms of what makes you concerned about the future? And let's say the next 6 months to 2 years, what is it that you're concerned about?
My first biggest concern is about the economic crisis here, for example, frankly speaking. So I read a piece of news last week that we're guessing now we have like 70 million people are losing jobs or are taking the very basic salaries here. Like because like all the exporting business are shutting down right now, and a lot of service business, they're fully operating right now, and people are saving the budgets for all these or for all these expandings. So like a lot of people, they're under threat, of losing a job, and we are not giving money like other governments will do. So so this is, I think, the very first thing I'm worried and concerned. And I know like for the top tier consulting companies in China, they are taking all the pay cuts or taking the non-pay leaves right now. So you can see, the results are gradually emerging. Like the currency maybe still a lot of crises are underwater, but maybe in the next 6 months, people will see it. People will see it. Like people will see exactly how few they have to pay. They have to, for the first time maybe in their life, to facing a pay cut.
Yes.
Like
exactly.
yeah. So this is happening. And the second thing is that I do worry about the supply chain. Like for example, for the products that we're selling right now, so we have like maybe 40, 50 different producers from overseas countries. So I can see like the very high cost in the logistic, and they are facing a problem of like production. So the supply chain currently can still relying on the current inventories in China. Like we did buy a lot of inventory in the last 1 or 2 years. So maybe we can still have enough inventories to sell, especially not for a huge company like us. So we still have the inventory we can leveraging other importers right now. Maybe, but I don't know how long it can take. Maybe it will only take, I believe, maybe 6 months, and maybe as long, maybe 12 months, so we can see how it reacts in the supply chain. Yeah, and so this is like two major concerns for me right now.
So do you see there is a silver lining? Are there some signs that certain things are picking up, getting better? Are certain new avenues opening up, even though the supply chain is closing down? Since the consumer trends are changing, and also the governments, they're becoming more nationalistic, closing up countries. But is there some silver lining around COVID? Where could you see that for e-commerce, and what you guys are doing?
Actually, when we looked back the history, especially for the history in Japan, you can see there's always chances. Despite it's going up, the economic going up or going down, there's always chances there. For example, like here, I think the biggest silver lining is because we still have so many population here, and this means a huge market existing there. So people still need to eat, drink, have fun. These are the needs that people still have right now. So the key question is, how do we serve the new consumers in the new normal? So I think the first thing is we have to think very clearly and look very thoroughly, about this market and the changes now happening, and to predict what might happen in the future, like three months, 6 months, 12 months. So I think it's a very good case. Currently, I did a lot of time studying Japan, especially the period of time right after the big economic crisis in the 1990s in Japan. So what happened back to 20 years ago in Japan, or 30 years ago in Japan? So what kind of new business model are emerging? What kind of the brands are emerging? So you can see a lot of like very good value for money brands emerged in Japan. Including Uniqlo, including a lot of different chains in Japan. So I think this is the first thing, and the second thing is that it's a astonishing number is that e-commerce currently only account for maybe 10 to 15% of the total business in China. So you can see that still huge chances, especially for example. For different industry, because you have different quality of the players are participating in different industries. So some of the industries, big industries, including cosmetics, including some bigger markets. So they are embracing the new logistic or the new business model sooner than any other different industries. So from my opinion, like food and drink, including snacks, wine. So these industries still have huge chances. They're still not that effective or highly efficiency enough compared to the cosmetics industries. So when we increase the effectiveness or efficiency of the total supply chain, so you can make the money out of the efficiency and the value you created. For example, that we are cutting a lot of middlemen. We used to buy the wine from importers, but currently we're buying more from the producer themselves. So the producers can give us a very good discount because they know what kind of consumers we're selling. So they're trusting ourselves, and they're trusting us and our consumers. So they're willing to give their products, to the consumers. They know where they're from, instead of, they're selling to importers, and they never know what kind of channels, they're selling their products. They don't know where their wine will be listed and who will drink their wine.
So I think is this a chance for cross-border trade as well to even
exactly
increase, and then also that the direct sale, like producer to consumer, is increasing a lot. So this business model is definitely picking up, right? But the supply chain
exactly. Which means that it requires a company, like, first of all, the company is some like us. So we need to understand the both sides. So we need to understand what the consumers need, and at the same time we need to understand what kind of products we can offering them, what kind of logistic plan we can pick, to decrease to increase the efficiency, in the whole system. So a lot of companies that they used to like have a lot of different players, in the middle. So right now, the higher efficiency system are taking care of the business. They used to taken care by the older system. So this is the new efficiency here. The new silver lining and the new business model here. So I think one is to consider. So, and before that, I think one critical thing is that you have to figure out if the products is fitting the current market needs in China right now. So a lot of people they
to be aware of that. Okay, to sum up our conversation, and thank you so much for your time already. So what are maybe the next 6 to 12 months looking like for a foreign brand that likes to, or is maybe in China, or likes to work with someone like you guys or a distributor in China to find new markets, because their own market has decreased and they need to find expansion? So what is it looking like for, how do you guys value, let's say, the products? How do you select them? What is the next 6 to 12 months looking like?
Yeah, first of all, we need to figure out the products, if it is a nice to have products right now, or it's a must have products right now. So you can see that what kind of products they're competing with in the current market, and to see if they have any competitive strengths compared to the local players. So a lot of products, we still believe that like foreign brands have some advantage here. For example, wine, for sure. Like people understand, I know like some Chinese wineries are doing pretty good right now, but still like people have a belief that like foreign wine, especially like French wine, Italian wine, they have a premium quality. Yes. So when people believe that, so it's so you have the competitive advantage here. Okay. And also, for example, so I think this is the first thing. And the second thing is that we will look at the quality more than marketing right now. So okay. Because because the marketing is in China, I think it's a expertise that we can learn, from we can learn from the different players. We have an pretty established approach, to educating the market. Even like you have no current influence or zero influence right now in the market, but with a proper operation, you can have some publicity maybe in 3 months. So the original marketing is not that important right now. More importantly, it's about the quality and the price you need to pay for the quality. And third thing is that
value driven, it's loyalty based. So brands have to really look at quality first, and building the loyalty as well, and keeping the loyalty with the consumers as well.
And the last one, and also there's one very critical thing is that we need to have you need to have a good design, especially the design is people can take photo or people can shoot a short video about the products that they're willing to share in the social media. Okay. So in conclusion, it's like first of all, it's like must have is better than nice to have. Quality is more than marketing. The design is very good, and also then we look at the value. the money that you pay for this total packaging. Yeah.
Fantastic, great. Thank you so much, Zhiwei from Penguin Guide. I hope to see you at FHA sometime soon next year.
Yeah, soon. Yeah.
You can actually talk in person to an audience and have a handshake with them.
Yeah, happy to. Yeah, happy to. Happy to do that.
Have a great day, and thank you so much.